Welcome to the court. It's Jester, and I got my cat on my lap, and we're ready to play. Load game. Oh god, the cat's angry. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Parties have never really been my thing. What is your thing? Not believing in ghosts? Because you haven't really been believing in the ghosts so far, and it's been making things really difficult for the whole group. You know that? They're always such a hassle and take so much time off my day. Prior plans and commitments canceled, all for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
Hi, Hannah. I hated them even as a child.
Please, make yourselves at home.
But Mom often insisted she'd slick back my hair, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets, and if there were any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how utterly loud and tedious it was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. To some extent, lies have already surrounded me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, there were easy ways to tune everything out, and much to my mom's frustration, I always managed to sneak my CD player along. Oh my god, I am just picturing little Ashton getting brought along to fancy, important people parties, and just sitting there with his CD player listening to music. It reminds me of when I would sneak my Nintendo DS into church. Oh god, it was actually my Game Boy. I didn't have a DS yet. I would sneak my grandma would drop me off at children's church in which me and a bunch of other children would follow two strangers up into an attic, which sounds bad in hindsight. And I was just sitting there like playing my Winx Club game on my Game Boy. And I think like another kid got sent up to me by one of the adults and was like, You need to put your Game Boy away. It's disrespectful to God. And I'm like, I don't respect God. Can I keep playing? And now I'm agnostic. I kept to myself and to my music, had my own little world, until I learned to observe. It's a simple matter of awareness, really. And for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of the wrist alone could tell you volumes about a person. I still don't like parties, especially ones as big and fancy as the Wrights' housewarming. However, when there's an actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not too bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it is like, Ashton, you don't need to worry about arresting Luke. The ghost is gonna kill him. You'd think the man would want to remain inconspicuous. I can say words. Inconspicuous. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna skip past that. After his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxbourne. Granted, most of it has gone cold over the years, having stagnated without any lead or evidence, but that still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet, here he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. And we're gonna go through his medicine cabinets! Look, all I'm saying is, if you search hard enough, you'll probably find the cocaine. Rich people always have cocaine. Although having observed the man this past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it. The damn spotlight. Constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. Yeah, probably because his parents didn't love him. You know how it is. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found at his own party. Yeah, he's getting drunk. But that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends. How close he has creeped into the lives of the people I care about. Well, isn't he good friends with the chief of police? That's probably making arresting him a bit more difficult, you know, corruption and all that. Then again, I think the chief might be a bit more eager to arrest him after his wife accused Luke of being the father of her baby. Just a thought. Again, like a stubborn itch you couldn't be rid of. First, Professor Clark. Then there's Isabella. I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now there's also Rebecca. Ah, Rebecca! The best girl! Look at her! Ashton! I'm a wingman for you. You don't know what you have a chance with here, but I'ma help.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Do it! Do whatever she tells you to!
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
There will also be hell to pay if so much as a hair, there will also be hell to pay if he so much as harms a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads. Worrying about Isabella's brief dealings with him is stressing in itself already. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people, though. It would tarnish his glorious reputation he values appearances more than anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it, more than in fact, and on the off chance he does something, I wouldn't be responsible for my actions. No jury would convict you. Literally, I could just see a lawyer just be like, Luke Wright, please take the stand. Tell us about how you ended up here. Just tell us a bit about yourself. And then like 10 minutes in, the entire jury is like, he's guilty. It's like, but we haven't even talked about the accusations against him. It's like, he's guilty. Send him to prison. Oh my God, he's such a prick.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
Shirley's worth more in like precious emotional sentiment. For Zachary and Rebecca's sakes, however, I really hope this will simply be another housewarming party. Even though something tells me it's anything but. Call it a detective's intuition or whatever. When Luke Wright's involved, nothing good has ever come out of it. I can't let my guard down here. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop and out comes...
Chief?
Yeah, this is bad. My presence here might be odd, at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed me himself a year ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery for the newly promoted detective inspector. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Although, to see him here, chatting it up with Luxborn's rich and famous isn't such a big surprise in itself, no disrespect meant, but the guy is obviously a social climber. What's surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest's wife. I hope the ghost kills this guy. Let's just, like, come on. Hey, ghost, look at this guy. He sucks. Do your thing. Just what the hell is he doing here? He's trying to sleep with a married woman while he himself is married.
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
Yeah, sure. What the shit is going on here?
Oh, wait, Ash, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Ashton, you're blowing it!
Hey, be careful. About what exactly?
I don't want to draw attention to myself either. At least not until he's given me a proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
Oh, no. I gotta pick up the kitty. Okay, there we go. Got the kitty.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again.
She's in the rose garden. For now, the best I can do is wait and remain the stupid word I can't pronounce again! No! Especially when Chief is here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Rebecca, or forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, then so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well, when there are guards and civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not now, when I'm one of the few snooping or roaming around. It'd be best to try and do so once there's a crowd of people. And if their interior designers' drunken claims are to be believed...
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
And I can tell when someone's a pig, and you're a pig for more reasons than just your uniform, buddy. It all comes down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party is going to give me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke right, or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. I had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears. But one does not simply deal with the rites and get invited to a party they host without wanting anything from either of the two. Or it's the other way around. So with one last wary glance at the two, I head into the ballroom. I just hope this will not complicate things further. Shit. By the time the party's in full swing, night has fallen, and yet there isn't a Luke rite in sight. The man can be quite ostentatious, but this, frankly, I'm impressed. Ooh, yummy! I don't even know how many hors d'oeuvres I've already stuffed my face with. Well, stuff it with more! Those look tasty! One too many, probably. The servers are already giving me the stink eye every time I saunter over to the buffet table. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has the guts to show up so late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. Despite standing under the same roof with the very people they're whispering about, some just couldn't resist. I might as well keep an ear out for any useful info.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem?
Tech problem.
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past few months suggests anything, that or someone has been pulling the strings. I wouldn't be shocked. The case would not have gone on this long if the scumbag didn't have a mule of some kind in the force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Fair. Glad I did not have to deal with that. But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence has always been an advantage, but sometimes I wish I could be smashed drunk while doing this. He's just running around doing his detective work while, like, sloshed out of his mind. He's like, you know, I'm just picturing him stumbling around, and he's like, excuse me, I need to speak with you. He's like, well, who are you? I was like, well, I'm a detective. And he pulls out a wine bottle out of his jacket, and then he's like, oops, wrong pocket. And he shoves the wine bottle back in and then pulls out a badge instead. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week? One person's motive for bashing someone's skull against the wall, or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive. That sort of stuff. Yeah, rich people drama. After a few years, it gets tiring. You get desensitized to it. But humans could also be downright awful. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in this world. Sadly, the wine is also a no-go tonight. It's mostly for show. I'm up for another drive later. For one, I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt, the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom.
Hannah Wright.
She's a nice lady. Some will say I'm acting a touch paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party, and she's the hostess. It goes to say that she'd take the time to mingle with her guests. But Hannah Wright Nee Evans isn't without her fair share of accolades. At least to the public, she doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. Or effectively hide whatever irregularity there may be. She's clean, as far as my agents and I have found, but it doesn't rule out a possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. Hannah is innocent! She's innocent, I say! She doesn't know anything about what Luke's getting up to! She doesn't even know he's cheating on her! She's innocent! You can't arrest her! No jury would convict her! Hell, Luke Wright came out clean in previous reports until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I found may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. This may be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Becca, you always look stunning no matter what you're wearing. Nothing to be worried about then. She's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet, even knowing that, the anxiety stays, has been here since the party started. I brushed it off earlier. Who wouldn't feel edgy, right? I've gone undercover in a party hosted by the very person I'm investigating. That in itself is risky and has plenty of room for error. Yeah, that's not even bringing the ghost into it yet, man. Usually, though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so, and I've trained to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second that I spend here, it only grows heavier and seeks to overwhelm. An odd feeling that someone is watching me instead. Oh, it's probably the ghost. Don't worry about it. It has been like this since last week, but I should already be used to this. People would be looking at me no matter how small or big of a blip I am on their radar. That's what they do in these things. But when the feeling of eyes burning into my back lingers longer than necessary, I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit. No luck. And despite my efforts to push the sensation as far down as I could, tiny pinpricks continue to sting at the back of my head, and the ghost of a cold touch creeps up my limbs. Until my gaze switches back to Rebecca and Hannah Wright. She stands there, dark-haired and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb. Yep. Hi. How you doing? Even so, no one seems to notice. Although she's looking away from me, her mere existence here strikes, disturbs. A sense of tunnel vision binds while I stand stock still, gape at her, like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. I feel trapped in her presence until another guest bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then do I realize I've been holding my breath. Ashton, do you really believe that was just a regular party guest? She was covered in blood. Before I could figure out what happened, she's gone. A quick scan of the room yields no signs of her. The party continues as if nothing's amiss. I'm not really one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. What has security been doing? Are they really that incompetent for someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? There should have been an outcry by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, and yet she simply continues her talk with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Is there something in the food then? That I'm starting to see things. It couldn't have been the wine, though. I'm every bit as sober as when I first stepped off my car. The hors d'oeuvres? Oh yeah, someone decided to spike the hors d'oeuvres, make this a real party. Why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy, but I couldn't see why he'd ever think it'd be a good idea to lace the food he'd serve in his party with someone like Chief Lee on the guest list to boot. He has been linked to narcotics trade, yep, but however, that kind of tactic is below him, that much I could tell. Unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen tonight, which I highly doubt. So...
What the fuck was that?
It was a ghost. Ashton, the ghost. Your friends have been telling you about the ghost. You should listen to your friends about the fucking ghost. But there's no time to look deeper into this even if I want to. Not when a telling silence comes upon the room and draws everyone's attention to the main doors of the ballroom.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
Well, someone has to be.
I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
You are. I've been tailing this guy for a while now, but before that, I've heard stories from previous officers who tackled his case, none of which are pleasant. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark yet. Pleasant is glossing over the gravity of it. While Wright's good at covering whatever shady stuff he's doing, he's shown to be a really rotten guy. At least, that's the case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I've lost track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy could be pinned with. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Go for it, Ashton! Throw hands! Cause a scene! Just blame it on the alcohol, baby! Actually, the urge is stronger, but protocols? My case first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it should be in a court with all the proper charges filed against him. And I'll only be able to do that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness.
How drunk are you right now?
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Suppressing my annoyance, I prepare to step away from the crowd. Amidst the cheers and claps, now is as good a time as any to move, to try that something the McCalla woman talked about. In the first place, I have no plans to actually shake hands with the slime ball myself. A fake smile is Oh! Allow. His name is Luke. His name's Luke, but sometimes the characters will put down what they think of the person in their head over what the person's actual name is. It's really funny. A fake smile is plastered on my face while I pretend to listen to one of the other guests gossiping about him, all the while slowly inching out of the ballroom. Unfortunately, before I could get any further...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
Well, someone's about to feel ill in a second.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Stop drinking while you're heavily pregnant. Oh, accidentally clicked the scroll button. Rich people only have two ways to resolve their mess. Either they quietly deal with it behind closed doors, or they create an even greater problem out of it, and it just blows up in everyone's faces one way or another. Yep, and you know what tonight's gonna be! Time for a scene! Fun.
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here!
This never gets old.
You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
Punch him! Not even a few seconds in, and this is already proving itself to be a big public spectacle. Why spend money on a television to buy daytime soap operas? You could just go to one of these parties and see the action unfold in real life. You get free food, too. Really, if I were an actual guest, I'd just take this as some sordid form of amusement.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
But I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him even through this whole sorry tale. So I wait, I listen, I observe. Interesting, isn't it though? That's the chief inspector's wife. Yup! Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting thing to talk about at the water cooler tomorrow. The morning starts off quiet. Even the whole Salem residences seems unusually well. The open hallway when I step out is devoid of tenants, no sounds coming from the other units either. It's almost as if something's brewing on the horizon. A peaceful night's sleep still does wonders for the mood though. I can't even remember the last time I slept without anything urgent interrupting. It's a nice break from all the bad news lately. If it wasn't for the insistent buzzing in my pocket waking me up, I'd sleep in. The ringing has stopped before I could move somewhere private, but sleep also has been effectively knocked out of my system by then. Pity, I could use a little more rest, but I have to face the other storm. Yeah, Rebecca's mad at you. Of course, I owe Rebecca an explanation, but it doesn't matter if it's the whole truth or another hastily spun tale. I'm just picturing the house on like two big chicken legs, Baba Yaga style. Like, it's not a little hut that a witch lives in, it's an entire apartment. Oh my god, idea for a TV show. It's about an apartment complex full of witches and warlocks and supernatural beings, and the apartment complex is on legs and always on the move. We can make millions. 6 seasons in a movie. Of course, I owe Rebecca an explanation. It doesn't matter if it's the whole truth or another hastily spun tale. Although, I haven't really figured out how to go about this yet. Well, you can start with, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and go from there. Unlike Zach or Isabella, who don't usually ask questions and are content with what little I could share, Rebecca is rather quick on the trigger. It will still have to be set aside for later, though.
Sup, I'm Ash from the watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.
I love Ashton's ringtone so much.
Watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.
The chief's name stares back at me, almost as if it's mocking me. Sad. It would have been nice to just chill after last night, or maybe half listen to the news. Sure, it's the same thing we've been hearing lately. Still beats standing outside in the chilly Luxburn morning on the phone with my boss. Sighing, I answer, if only to get this over with.
Ray, where are you right now?
Where's your wife right now, man? Because we know she hasn't been faithful to you lately. Now that's a tone I didn't expect from him at this hour. Just thinking about how this will go already gives me a headache. Immediately, I reach up and pinch the bridge of my nose to stave it off.
This is why I won't ever drink myself senseless.
What was that?
Nothing, Chief. A pleasant morning to you, too.
Okay, so are you gonna talk to him about the whole scene with his wife? He's probably calling to rag on me or complain about his wife, which is really none of my business unless it affects my case. It seems like the usual rich man cheats on wife deal. Keep him on. There's gonna be really awkward silence for a while. The chief is just sitting there like, last night there was a public scene about his wife accusing another man of being the father of her baby. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. He calls one of his best detectives, and then his best detective is just muttering about getting drunk and just awkward silence. Although I would have followed up on it if it were somebody else's wife. But I figure it's the chief's. Hey, I trust him to come clean if the missus is related to the Wrights' shady dealings. This is why I left before they even hauled the woman out last night. I'm not going to go around investigating cheating husbands and wives when it's probably just that. The chief appears to have a different idea in mind, though.
There's nothing pleasant in the morning. Anyway, where are you? I told you millions of times before to keep your lines open.
He did not, and he did, and not only him. Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella, all of them have said the same thing numerous times in the past. But I was undercover last night. A phone call is the last thing I want to happen when there are other things I need to focus on at the time. You were not undercover, Ashton. A pretty girl asked you on a date, and then you blew her off. That's what happened. What did you discover? Nothing. What clues did you search for? None. You ate hors d'oeuvres, you wished you could have gotten drunk, and you disappointed a girl that was that's really important to you. Besides, we have radios and work-issued phones. Why isn't he using those channels if this is urgent?
Just woke up, sir. As awesome as it is to hear your voice this morning, it really is early. If you could give me a few minutes just to wake myself up, that'd be swell.
No need for that. This won't take long.
Is something wrong? Am I needed at the precinct ASAP?
Oh no, everything's good over there. Just... Look, kid. Pray. Don't take this personally, alright?
Okay, every time someone says don't take this personally, they're about to go and say something that's really super personal.
You're off the Luxbourne firm case. Starting today.
him his wife's a whore. Well, I did not expect to hear that either. This must be some kind of cosmic joke. I allow some awkward seconds to pass. Chief must be pulling one of his awful pranks. Nope. Look. You just gotta tell him it's his fault his wife's strayed. You gotta do that. If you're gonna get taken off the case, burn every single bridge you have while you're at it. Out of his bad move, or a severe hangover maybe, everyone knows that when given the chance, he exercises no control with his drinking. If it wasn't for his wife causing a stir, he'd probably be trashed an hour in at the party. He likely drank more after they threw her out of the ballroom. Look, Chief, you can't take me off the case, because if you take me off this case, I'm gonna tell everyone at work about your wife's affair. I'll do it. I'm petty enough. Besides, his sense of humor has never been good. It's just infuriating most of the time. But when he doesn't follow it up, if I sound a tiny bit frustrated speaking to my own superior, I'm not the one to blame.
Wait, no. What? Are you kidding, Chief? Is this one of your practical jokes again? The Temps won't say anything about it, but
It's not that.
Well, what is it then? What is it? You call, there's awkward silences for when I'm talking, and then, well, like, oh God, what if he can hear me? Can you hear me, Chief? Chief Lee! I'm talking to you! Your marriage is in shambles and you should do something about it! Also, there's a ghost! Do you know about the ghost? You wanna look at this letter? If you see the letter, the ghost will start haunting you, so look at this letter! The letter says you need to show it to 5 people or else. We just need to show it to people we don't like so they can be haunted instead. I don't like this guy. So let's just give him, so he's number 1. Okay, now we need 4 others.
They're orders from the higher-ups.
Bullshit! This is corruption. I'm calling it corruption. Ah, the higher-ups. Yes, my favorite word. Since when did the higher-ups ever care about what the Criminal Investigation Department did? I don't know, probably a lot. As far as I could tell, they didn't give a hoot if the CID is filled with cold cases as long as we keep the spending low. Well, now that you're investigating someone that probably gives them money, they probably care. When I need to view those old case files, though, they're locked away in the archives. You're going to have to check that with the higher-ups. I need to access these reports, see if the higher-ups would allow it. Every step, every move in this case, there hasn't been one that hasn't been gated by some authority. If it's not the chief, it's the commissioner, or so they always tell me. It makes one wonder why they even bothered assigning it to anyone. Not a single one of them has done anything to help move the case. Yeah, they're trying to slow it down on purpose because they're corrupt. They're being paid off. Money talks, horrible crimes walk. And they wonder why it has taken so long for even a hint of progress to show.
you can't just drop this on me. You can't just take me off like that.
Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, Ashton. You're a good detective. One of the best I've seen in years,
But I'm gonna do it anyway. Ashton, you don't need to listen to a guy. Turn in your badge. Have it be like in one of those cop movies. Turn in your badge and decide to do the camp and decide to solve the case on your own. Vigilante justice style.
3 years, Chief. 3 years.
You've been on this case for 3 years. Holy fuck, they really are slowing it down. 3 years since that anonymous tech leak blew up. Since Luke Wright's name was openly linked to several nasty dealings within Luxborn's corporate world, some of them involving deaths. 3 years, and I was the only one who made it this far. Made much progress that officers with more experience weren't able to do when they were handed this case. Just within a year, and with barely any help from the damn brass at that. Of course I'll be pissed.
Do you know what would have happened if I didn't work my ass off on this thing? If if I didn't dedicate a whole year of my time on it, it would have gone cold, like every fucking case Luke Wright has been linked to. I saved this from getting thrown into the archives, sir.
Oh, that sir was extremely disrespectful. You could feel the contempt.
I'm getting close. If you could just...
I'm fully aware of what you've done, Frey, but the Commissioner hasn't been happy with your progress.
Well, the Commissioner can go suck it.
Still too slow by their standards.
Whatever.
Too slow? Well, what about those reports I filed? I've documented every freaking thing for them. I've given you every important lead I can gather. Isn't that enough?
They need results, not a bunch of research papers. Not one baseless assumption after another. Concrete proof, Frey.
Oh my god. Phoenix Wright's incompetent brother! He's the family member you don't invite to holidays because you cut ties with them after they did a bunch of fucked up shit. Hana's always like, when can we see your brother Phoenix again? He's always so lovely. Oh, and then it's just like, and then Luke's like, we don't talk about him. We don't talk about Phoenix. We don't talk about him. Oh wait, is his name Phoenix or Nick? You don't invite him, but he shows up anyway and he gets hammered. He drinks all the good wine. I should play the Phoenix Wright games. I'm gonna play them. I bought them while they were on sale. I'm gonna play them soon. It's gonna be fun.
I'm really sorry. They've already made a decision.
Yeah, I bought them all off Steam while they were on sale. So I am good. So they are on the list. I'm trying to figure out what order I want to play like the games I have in, because I do unfortunately only get like 2 days a week that I'm streaming right now. But I will play it eventually. It's in my Steam library, just waiting to be installed.
They're going to pass this on to someone who's been in the force longer. Someone who has more experience.
Someone whose pockets are being filled. I don't trust any of this. Corruption. Corruption. Call a lawyer. Call Phoenix Wright.
Someone who has more experience?
It's a bullshit claim.
They meant nothing by it, but you're still too young to work on a case this big.
I mean nothing by it, but I'm about to say something deeply insulting to you. But I mean nothing by it.
Chief, I've already done more than what those old farts ever did behind their desks. All of it, within just a year of being assigned to this.
Watch your language, Frey. Those are your superiors,
Okay, he just said to watch your language. Bring out even more vulgar curse words. Come on, let's do it.
I'm not some damn rookie fresh out of training. I'm as qualified as they are.
Futile, I know it is. They'd never say it within earshot, but from the very minute I stepped into their precinct, the lot of them had underestimated me. From their states alone to the assignments I get. To them, I'm still just a kid. Too young, too green, too inexperienced. Well, what the fuck do they want from you? Like, if they don't put you on cases, how are you supposed to get experience? And once they pull that card on me, every argument I have gets thrown out the window. Throw them out the window. Throw hands. Choose violence. No matter how logical it is, how much I've accomplished, what the records say, or the amount of work I've put into every investigation they've thrown my way.
You're all aware of your skills, kid. You wouldn't have that badge and rank if you weren't good enough.
You're not good enough. You're not a good enough police chief. You're not a good enough husband. That's why your wife's cheating on you. Smurf propaganda! I don't know how to respond to that. I'm gonna pick up my cat. Oh, God. Okay. Got the kitty. Ashton, Ashton, you don't need them. You don't need the Force. You can solve this case on your own. You don't need them in their damn Smurf propaganda. La 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 la.
However, this case is just not for you. Too high profile, too risky to put a good officer like you in harm's way.
What the fuck are you talking about? Can he even hear himself? That reasoning is odd in itself. No one joins this line of work without knowing the dangers of it.
Don't I get a second chance? You said it yourself. I'm a good detective. It'll just be a matter of time before we can close this.
It doesn't matter what I think, Frey. You're off the case, and that's final.
Fuck you. Fuck this guy. I have a plan. Okay, Ashton. You're just gonna ignore him. You're just gonna keep solving the case. Just hand in your badge. Go rogue. Solve it with vigilante justice. Like, get a cool costume. Be a superhero. Be Batman.
I expect all related files and documents on my desk by Monday morning.
Look, Batman's the world's greatest detective, and he was not on the Force. Like, he was friends with Commissioner Gordon, but he did it alone. He also did it with the children on this. Okay, Ashton, we need to go adopt a bunch of orphans so they can help you fight crime.
And don't even try to go touch anything. I know how hard-headed and determined you are.
He's gonna touch whatever he wants. He's gonna get his hands all over everything.
Chief, please. A few more weeks. I'll have the proper evidence left on your desk by then. I swear it won't take longer than that.
Afraid it's too late, boy. I've already informed the other officers.
You're full of shit. Okay, cool. You informed the other officers. I'm gonna inform them all of your failing marriage. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be really interesting how we're all having this big case investigating Luke Wright, and your wife has stated that she had an affair with him, and that he is the father of her baby, not you. I'm sure that's very relevant information to all of this, and I'm sure everyone would really love to hear it.
You aren't to be allowed access until you've been given a new assignment.
I don't need your fucking access.
Hell, just keep out of the precinct, Frey. Take the weekend off.
Oh, he's gonna take the weekend off, alright. He's gonna take the weekend, and he's gonna solve this fucking case without you!
Seriously, Chief, is this about last night?
Oh my god, he's bringing it up!
If this is about me being at that party, I have a good reason for...
You were at the party.
Oh, fuck, he didn't know that. It makes me pause. His wary tone, the sudden careful note in his voice. Slowly, a frown forms in my face, my eyebrows knitting together in confusion. Much as I hate to say this about my own boss, there's also suspicion in it. Hard not to think of that the way seeing as how he acted around Hannah Wright last night. Yeah, like he wants to get with her. Is he worried? Why should he be? Because he's shown that he has relationships with people that are that actually result in severe conflicts of interest for the cases assigned to us right now. Because he's corrupt, and you saw evidence of him being corrupt. Because he's a corrupt, dirty little piggy, yeah. And we're gonna make him squeal like one. Everyone who's anyone was invited. I didn't doubt for a second why he received an invite, even if his presence was questionable. There's something wrong, and I've unintentionally walked into it. All I have is the sneaking suspicion, but when one looks at this from a different angle, puts everything together. Why the hell have I been taken off the case? Why the hell I've been taken off this case might be for the same reason he was there in the first place. Fuck.
Yes, Chief, I was. For a good reason. A friend invited me to go with her. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
Well, your wife caused a scene, like, let's be real. He coughs, and it almost sounds like he's choking on his own excuses. Lies? I don't want to accuse him of anything, yet. He's someone I've respected since I joined the LPD, even with his bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. He obviously is competent enough to get the job done. I doubt the competency of this man. He is involved. He is involved. He is friends with the suspect. He's trying to sleep with the suspect's wife. His wife is sleeping with the suspect. He's involved in a web of lies and scandal and corruption. He wouldn't be the chief inspector of Luxburn Police if he wasn't. He wouldn't last years in service without some track record backing him. Unless that is, too, a fluke. And what's backing him is not something, but someone filling other people's pockets with money. But someone? Oh. Oh, shit. Fucking hell. Fucking shit.
Chief Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
I think it's very relevant. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I'll recite the whole damn oath we've taken upon being sworn into service if I can, but at this point it seems too late to remind him of that. He has probably already moved on from serving and protecting people to serving and protecting his own interests. Damn it. I suspected the upper brass of this, even the lower-ranked subordinates in the force. But my own boss? Surprise, surprise, Ashton, cops are dirty. Oh my god, did you think they were the good guys? I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Shit, no wonder the leak didn't lead anywhere. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. I might have been set up to fail long before the fucking case had been assigned to me. But I don't want to give this up. I don't want to believe I've wasted an entire year for this. I don't want this to be the kind of news I tell Professor Clark after all the promises I've given that man.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hannah Wright, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning.
Fuck the police.
Every copy of the files you have, I want to see it all on my table, understood?
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
He's trying to intimidate you. Don't let him. What else can I do other than smile and nod? Well, smiling and nodding isn't going to do much. You're on a voice call. With my own superior expecting an answer, using that tone, brushing my questions off as easy as discarding a dead body, which I guarantee you this man's probably fucking done.
Yes. Yes, sir.
He cuts the line as soon as the words are out. You're off the case, Frey. Just like that. Funny why this has still caught me off guard. I've discovered years ago how different the actual thing is, how far from reality everything I believed in as a dreamy-eyed kid. There are no high-speed pursuits every day, no thrilling gunfights or exciting cases every step of the way, only paperwork, lots of red tape, and dealing with the politics and bureaucracy. I've set out to change things, hoping I'll make things better for the people I care about. It ended up changing me instead. It serves me right for being too idealistic, I guess. This is probably the universe telling me it's better to remain the skeptic I really am. Now here I am, standing useless, can't even do anything but grit my teeth and kick the wall. The bastard didn't even acknowledge my response.
What did the poor wall ever do to you?
It was nearby. And I heard it talking shit. The wall's been trash talking me since day one. You know how they say the walls have eyes? Well, they have mouths too, and they be talking shit with them. It figures Rebecca would be the one to find me in this embarrassing state. Honestly, I don't like it when she sees me like this, which seems to happen a lot, regardless of what I want.
Rebecca, now's not a good time.
The concern I expect from her when I turn isn't there, however. Instead, she just looks, well, the storm I left brewing last night, it's right there on her face, ready to be unleashed. Ashton, grovel. That's your only available course of action right now. Grovel before the woman you scorned.
When is it ever a good time for you? You're always so busy with everything now. Now I find you here, sneaking out without even bothering with a proper goodbye. Not even a word. Really, I'm starting to think you're just keeping me around for my couch and my cooking.
Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I wasn't planning on sneaking out. I was going to say goodbye. I just had to take this call. Although, I'm not gonna lie, couch is great. 10 out of 10, would sleep again.
You could be sleeping in her bed if you had more sense to you, boy! I'm trying to help you! Ashton! Ashton! A goddess has given you her favor! Go for it! Why are you wasting this opportunity?
Stop it with the jokes, Ashton. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, she's so mad. Her bitterness is not lost on me, but at this point in our friendship, in our lives, how does she still expect me to answer that? What am I supposed to tell her now? Tell her you're sorry about last night.
Are you still mad about last night?
Oh my god, of course! She merely raised an eyebrow at me, which, to be honest, is all the response I need. Seeing her like this makes me believe those things Z-Man says. The part where Rebecca scares him sometimes. I've certainly seen this more than once already. But the familiarity of it doesn't really take me away from the downhill turn this conversation's starting to take. Only an awkward cough serves as a way to stall.
Okay, of course you're still mad.
Say you're sorry. Ashton, apologize. All you have to do is apologize.
But whatever happened last night, I really am sorry. I'll apologize as many times as you want.
Oh, thank God, it's a start.
If you want, I'd even kneel or something.
Do it, kneel.
Ashton, an apology is nice and all, but that's not what I wanted to hear from you today.
Alright, fine, okay. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. I've honestly lost track of it by your third trip to the buffet table.
I wasn't... The drive up there took a bit. Can you blame me if I wanted to grab some appetizers?
Oh, come on, Ash! For the whole evening? For the whole party?
Also, you never even asked her for a dance.
Please don't tell me that's all you did, because I've never known you as someone who pigs out. You even took great lengths to avoid me. Should I also mention how you ignored Zach? Sometimes I get the feeling you don't want to be seen with us in public. Some friendship, huh?
You know it's not like that. It's never going to be like that, Becca.
Maybe you even just used me to get into the party.
You did. You super did.
You said yes to being my +1, but you were rather excited to just peel yourself off, weren't you? Honestly, I'm feeling a bit used.
Yeah, he used you. I couldn't even look her in the eye. It wasn't that I lied to her. I honestly wanted to be there, to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe. Just in case. Client or family friend, it was still a party hosted by a person of interest, by a man accused years ago of murdering a person's wife to get what he wanted. Oh, I do not doubt it for a second. But then Chief showed up, Hannah Wright happened, and Luke Wright just couldn't be bothered to die peacefully somewhere. I'm working on it, okay? Look, when I'm playing his chapter and I'm in control of his character, I'll try to make the choices that lead him to getting killed by the ghost. I swearsies. All of a sudden, none of my original reasons mattered. If I was found out right then and there, hell, if Zach and Rebecca's connection with me was found out, who knows what might have happened. But Rebecca doesn't understand that, doesn't understand what I can and can't say to keep them from harm. Tell her the truth! It's all in her eyes, the tight line of her lips, and her furrowed brows. The hurt.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party? What were you doing that you couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends?
The day is just off to a wonderful start. First my case, now Becca. Okay, how should I go about this? Stretch the truth, insist it's confidential. I think that if you tell her, you don't need to tell her the confidential parts, but you can tell her parts of it. You can say that the party that you can say that you saw someone at the party that is related to a case you're investigating, and that's why you acted the way you did. You can tell her parts of it. Obviously, I can't just say, hey, Becca, you know the Wrights? They are suspected to be ringleaders of a crime syndicate and shit like that. Protocol or otherwise, there are so many things I'm not allowed to tell the others. Even if I am able to share information with civilians, knowing anything could very well put them in danger. It's why I keep it vague, obscure the facts, or when push comes to shove, stretch the truth and lie through my teeth. It's a necessity I've grown to deal with, and it has already become part of me, no matter how much I loathe doing it.
I mentioned it, didn't I? I saw an old friend and I thought I'd catch up. Didn't really notice how long our chat got.
Ashton, I was really hoping you were going... Ashton, I was really, really hoping that you were gonna be a bit more honest with this. I was genuinely thinking that you were gonna be like, I saw someone at the party that is related to a case I'm working on, and I had to be weird because of that. Like, that is still keeping confidential information a secret and still, like, but no, you're doing this. You're going this route, Ashton. You're being a little fuckboy.
You know what they say about time flying when you're having fun, and Lloyd is a fun guy.
Did you just make up a person? She doesn't look convinced at all. Yup, we just fucked up. Although she's the very picture of someone who's at least willing to listen, her glare effectively takes 20 off of my current years. I feel like a kid again, being reprimanded by my junior high teacher for sleeping in class. But getting away with that is far easier with this one. It's far easier than with this one. The thing with someone you've been friends with for so long is they're the ones who know you inside and out. Good grades wouldn't be enough for Rebecca to let this whole thing slide.
So, this Lloyd is a friend of yours who was at the party?
Yeah, we go way back in the police academy. Though you wouldn't have met him.
Stop lying and making up people. Oh my god, Ashton, I didn't think you were... Look, Ashton! Ashton, I believed... When I said stretch the truth, I didn't think you were gonna stretch it this much!
See, he mostly deals with teenagers and gets into a lot of messy stuff and...
Oh my god, you're gonna get so much trouble.
Cut the shite.
Ashton, please cut the shit.
You're not a very good storyteller, Ash. Don't try to make up a character just so that you can lie to me.
Oh god, we've upset Rebecca. Oh no. Why did I ever think this was a good idea? I don't know, I thought it was a good idea. I didn't think you were gonna be this much of a dipshit. Although I'm not making those people up, only twisting the facts, for someone who's already angry beyond reason, everything will sound like an excuse.
I'm not making stuff up. I did have a college mate named Lloyd.
Oh my god.
I think you would have liked him. You're both Scottish. He used to hang out a lot with Joey and Rashid, but they went off to work in London.
Oh my god. I will not be taunted for my choices. I still blame Ashton. Ashton's fault. He's being stupid, not me. It's not my fault. It's his. It's his.
Bunch of good guys. I should really ask if they're swinging by Lux anytime soon.
Ashton, you cannot change the subject your way out of this.
That doesn't make things any better. You were there because I invited you, and you just up and turned your nose from me. You might as well have disappeared completely for all you cared. Just say you don't want to talk about it instead of lying to my face.
I'm sorry! I do feel guilty still. We've already been down this road. Oh god, Ashton, we're in it now! This is something I've done so repeatedly in the past. Something she's heard from me more times than all my fingers could count. Something I'll just have to get over with at this moment.
I'm sorry, you know that, Becca. I really, really am.
I'm sorry too!
I wouldn't do this shit if I didn't have a good reason to.
And you know that I don't like you lying to me! If you can't tell the truth, just don't say anything and shut your gob!
I'm getting berated for this!
I swear, Ashton Frey, you are just so dense! I'm so angry, I can't even bear to look at you right now because I swear I'll knock you right off your block!
Oh god, I fucked up!
I mean, what good reason could you have to act like an antisocial asshole? The only time you did talk to me was to spout some vague nonsense about Luke. What was that all about?
Oh god, just tell her everything! Just tell her everything! Crack under the pressure
you somehow expecting me to just accept everything as it is?
You really shouldn't go near that man, Becca.
Okay.
Why? Because you don't trust him? I wonder if you actually trust anyone.
He doesn't.
Aside from the three of us, Zach, Isabella, and myself, do you even have any other friends?
He doesn't. Well, he had Lloyd.
If you're perfectly fine with that, then go ahead. No one is stopping you. But don't expect me to share the same views. I can have a life of my own. Friends that I don't necessarily share with you. I'm an adult, Ashton, and I can make my own bloody decisions. I sure as hell can choose the people I want to let into my life.
Of course she's allowed to do as she pleases. I never mentioned that she couldn't. Us growing up together doesn't mean that it always has to be just the two of us. It's a dumb idea to believe in when nothing ever remains constant. Things will inevitably change through the years, and she'll make friends with people outside our little circle. I'm just as free to form friendships with other people. But why, of all people, did it have to be him? Why does it have to be Luke Wright? That guy is nothing but trouble. How can she defend a guy like that? She's already calling him Luke, for Pete's sake.
I trust Zach, I trust Isabella, and I trust you, Rebecca. So why can't you trust me on this?
Because you're not telling her the truth, Ashton! Jesus, if you tell her the truth and tell her that Luke Wright is a dangerous man and that you're worried about her safety, she'll stay away from him. But you're just being vague and not really telling her anything. So she's just getting mad. And then we had to get yelled at. And then she's mad at us and I ruined everything. Ashton, you're never gonna get her to marry you now.
You need to stay away from that man, because he's...
Ashton, complete sentences. Come on, buddy. You can do it.
I really wish I could tell you.
Tell her! What was that saying Isabella mentioned before? A liar is a brother of a thief. People who look at me now will probably say I'm a hair's breadth away from being a criminal. C-Man said something like that once, a few years into our friendship. I laughed it off back then, but now, they're probably right. Little by little, I'm becoming the kind of person I hate. How ironic. The silence afterwards brings an even heavier air between us. Something that Rebecca, thankfully, doesn't allow to linger more than necessary.
I suppose you have to go now, huh?
The situation is already awkward as it is. Dragging this out will only make it more... what? Difficult? Messed up? As if it isn't already.
Back to your case again?
I don't really have to. I have no case. As far as the job is concerned, I have the weekend off until I have to report to Chief on Monday. Oh, Z-Man is what he calls, is the nickname he has for another character in the game named Zachary. That's both of their friend. Though he could be a superhero. He is great. Zach's like one of my favorite characters in the game. He's really fun. If he were here right now, he would be the voice of reason who could mediate this conversation and keep it from being so awful. Rebecca's so upset, guys. It's bad. Although I don't want to just throw in the towel on this. Orders are orders. Go vigilantes. Solve the case on your own. Don't you want to be like Batman? Oh, Rebecca could be Robin. Or Catwoman. Which would be better? Batwoman? One of them. Oracle? There's so many. The Bat family is so large. This isn't like the movies. I don't get to say, fuck off, throw my gun and badge at him, become some vigilante, save the day and get my job back. That is what I have been consistently suggesting. True. I'd rather get my ass thrown in jail than do any of that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It'll drive me crazy if I just idle about it. Besides, there's someone who has to know about this whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
That other matter she mentioned last night specifically. The same stuff Zachary has also been trying to tell me. Things even the news has been blasting out to the general public lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same motives blamed on a single serial killer. Or is it still the case?
Found dead in the early hours of the morning today. The fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxborn police.
Well, the Luxborn police are incompetent and corrupt, so who cares what they say? We're grasping at straws as far as these murders are concerned. In the first place, I'm not even the one heading this investigation, yet look at me treating it as if it's yet another high-profile case on my shoulder. How sad is that? Although all three of my friends have mentioned seeing something strange, I don't want to go into that line of thinking for now. Ashton, can you please get with the program and believe in the ghosts so we can deal with it? Not yet. Not until I've exhausted every logical argument I could throw at it. To be honest, though, I don't know how to take all of this anymore. But I've already given Isabella my word. It bothered me more if I didn't follow up on a promise I made to her. After Rebecca's claims last night, there won't be enough sarcasm in the world if what my friends have been telling me is true. I can already hear Isabella's laughter, in fact.
Figures. What else can it be?
It's not another case. It's something else.
Tell her you're looking into the ghost stuff.
That issue Isabella mentioned yesterday morning. I'm sure you remember. You were there.
Well, at least you're not neglecting all your friends.
Becca, I promised her I'll...
She doesn't wait for me to finish. With a roll of her eyes, she turns around and shuts the door in my face. Like a queen. I have no idea what I've said this time, but...
I probably deserve that.
You do! It's okay, Ashton. We both deserve it. We're both fuck-ups. We'll just have to fix this some other time. By then, her temper's sure to have cooled off significantly. Hopefully. Oh my god, is Ashton wearing 4 shirts on top of each other? For now, I can't laze around. I gotta attend to things that matter more. I'm gonna... How many shirts is he wearing? He's got the red shirt, and then he's got the white, and then he's got the white jacket with the fur trim. Is this game set in summer? I think it's actually October, so it is chilly enough for this to make sense. Oh no, there's minuses. Our relationship with Rebecca went down because we're filthy liars. There's another shirt under the red one? Ashton, why? Ashton, how are you not overheating in this weather? Professor Clark first, deliver the bad news, then in that issue with BRC and Isabella, maybe I can also drop by Zach's, check on him, hear what he has to say. He also read that damn letter. Has also been saying odd things about a bunch of photographs. I might as well, while I'm here, playing a paranormal detective, or was it supernatural? I can't remember. Oh, that is why Ashton makes poor choices. He's sweating to death. I feel better now. Whatever. It wouldn't hurt anyone if I tried to get to the bottom of this. If nothing comes out of this, good. Everyone can shut up about stupid curses, and we can finally get back on track with our lives, on to more important stuff. If there is something...
Are you two done?
There's a moment of confusion when I don't see a familiar ponytail about, only to find her standing behind the door to her apartment a second later. Isabella holds it open, though only slightly, as if to hide from anyone who might happen to pass by. This early and on a lazy weekend, I doubt anyone would. But from the gap in what little light there is behind her, I can make out the appearance of someone who's clearly just gotten off from bed. Hair in complete disarray, eyes still heavy with sleep, a small pout on her lips. She hasn't even gotten out of her pajamas. I look away long before my sense of decorum kicks in. We might be friends. I'll even dare say we've grown closer over the years, but that doesn't extend beyond the bounds of propriety. Propriety. Christ, even Rebecca never greets early visitors in her sleep clothes. Ashton, why are you freaking out? That you can see her ankles? Though maybe it's our fault why she's up this early. Still, heat makes a slow crawl up my neck, one that I quickly downplay with a solid cough.
Isabella, you're up early.
Okay, Ashton, I think we've solidly blown things with Rebecca. You might still have a chance to marry Isabella. Honestly, best route would be for Rebecca and Isabella to marry each other.
No, I'm not. I'm usually up at this hour. You're the one that usually sucks at getting up early.
Says the person who looks like she's just fallen out of bed.
Instead of the usual quip, she simply averts her gaze to some point beside her, and although it only flashes briefly across her face, an expression of hurt flickers in her eyes. I want Team Isabella versus Team Becca. I want both of them to win. Ashton has 2 hands. The 3 of them could all just be a polycule and everything would be great. Is that an option? Does this game have polyamory as an option? It disappears the second she turns her attention back to me, but that moment has sent a worried twinge in my stomach. I've seen it on her plenty of times before, just never in a manner that unsettles. It feels, I don't know, off this time? I didn't say anything wrong, did I? I don't know, Ashton. You've been saying nothing but wrong things lately. It's been bad.
Hey, are you...
Anyway, was that Becca with you? You both sound like Mama and Papa when they fight. You're awfully loud. If we get another memo from the landlady, I'm asking the guard to ban you from ever entering this place.
Oh yeah, Becca probably deserves better than Ashton. But then again, so does Isabella. Maybe everyone just stays single.
Me? Becca's the one almost shouting.
You pissed her off! We pissed her off! We fucked up, Ashton!
Yeah, well, she lives here. You don't. You have no excuse. You're the suspicious-looking person.
Thanks. Glad at least one person appreciates how I pretty up this place.
Don't flatter yourself. This place would be so much better without having to see your face every few days.
All the women in Ashton's life are angry at him. She follows it up with another pout. But her ruffled appearance, particularly how puffy her eyes are, I noticed just now takes away from the intimidating effect she's trying to show. Really, right now, she looks like more of an angry puppy. I might have laughed had it not given me another nagging sense that something is definitely wrong with her. Her coworker was murdered and she's being haunted by a ghost. She's not doing so hot. What? Has she been crying earlier? That is worrying. She rarely does that. The only time it happened, the only time I've ever seen her genuinely tear up over something, I think it was after Delvincourt, the night at the bridge. I want to ask. She seems determined to keep it to herself, though.
Belle, did something...
About yesterday, Ash. The things we talked about. Do you think we can take a look at it today?
We? I never said you're coming with me.
Let her come with you.
Don't worry. I didn't forget about it. You'll be the first to know if I find anything.
No, I want to go with you. I'll be ready in a few. This won't take long.
Isabella, you really don't have to. I can handle it on my own.
Let her come with you. Oh my god. Ashton, teamwork makes the dream work.
I won't get in the way, I promise. Besides, maybe I can help. You know, if there are files you want to check.
I don't like what she's implying. It's true the LPD's having a hard time with this, but taking Isabella with me, it's out of the question. Under normal circumstances. You guys are going vigilante now. Have a fun vigilante date. Isabella can be Robin, or Catwoman, or Oracle, or I don't know. There's so many in the Bat family.
You're the one who's going to get in trouble if you do that.
No, who's gonna arrest her? You're not gonna arrest her. No one's gonna arrest her. If anyone tries to arrest her, we'll just say no thank you and walk away.
You said it yourself. You need information, and I can help you get that. And it's not like it matters anymore. I just don't want to stand around doing nothing today.
We got ghosts to bust, murders to solve. Police corruption to unveil. There it is again. The slight shift in her eyes, the mild crease forming between her eyebrows, and the mild slump in her shoulders while she crosses her arms tightly around herself. Like she's shielding herself from whatever painful thing there is out there. I have plenty of reasons why I shouldn't let her tag along. Number 1, she might get arrested. Number 2, she might cause a scene that results in me getting arrested. First and foremost, she's a civilian. Second, I have no concrete plan of action, yet I'm going into this blind. No matter how I look at it, it's simply better for her to just wait so she won't be dragged into what might be another one of my failures. Her assumptions might be a dead end for all we know. But seeing that expression on her, hearing her speak those words out loud in a desperate, almost pleading tone, I can't bring myself to say no. So I give in, because right there, I see myself in her. The person that doesn't want to stay idle, who doesn't want to think of the problems haunting them.
All right, 5 minutes.
What? You're timing me?
Pull out the stopwatch. Okay, you got 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Go!
Well, I can't wait forever. I'm a very busy guy. 4 minutes and 45 seconds is about...
I hate you so much.
4 minutes and 30 seconds, 29, 28. I'd hurry if I were you.
Ugh, you're awful. I hope you never get a girlfriend.
That's what everyone's hoping for at this point. She slams the door right after, although my chuckles, the mirth and lightness in it linger. With her, those have always been easy to come by somehow, even as it echoes fade and the only ghost of a smile remains.
It's not like I'm looking for anyone else.
I want to tell her. It's not because I can't. I won't. I'm the one who's chosen not to, until I fixed myself, until I found myself underneath all that guilt and those lies I've been telling for years. Oh, even Ashton knows he's not in a good place to be in a relationship right now because he needs to get his shit together. Because no matter how heavy the weight of these feelings are, I am not yet worthy of them. Of her. You're not worthy of anyone, man. You fucked up. You fuck up a lot. Until then, the words and gestures are the only things I can offer. Minor stuff such as digging deeper into this thing with BRC in order to ease her worries. I'm not even sure if this will give us anything, unlike the firm case, which I already have proper leads on. I'm just going on her word for this. Speaking of the Luxburn firm case, I still have to inform the professor. Ashton, have you considered therapy? Ashton, have you considered that maybe you would be at a place to be... Is that... Why is the dog barking? Oh no. I have to go check on that. I'll be right back. Okay, dog's fine. The apprehension's there for sure. I've made a lot of promises to the man, and I would have preferred to tell him in person, not over the phone. But it's better for him to hear it from me rather than from a stranger. The railings offer a steady support while I wait for him to linger. I'd like to think I can do this without losing my nerve. My grip on the bars surely tightens, though, once the call connects.
Ashton.
Not running today, Professor?
He's usually at the park on a late Saturday morning, as long as it isn't raining cats and dogs. Keeps him young and healthy, he says, and he's certainly fit for a man his age with a sedentary job. Oh my god, he does have the Giga Chad face! Okay, this game is going to end with Professor Clark showing up and beating the shit out of the ghost with his bare hands.
Oh, no, not today.
He's definitely at the usual place, though. Honestly, when you think about it, so far, out of all the cast and characters in this game, Professor Clark is the only person we've met who actually seems to have his shit together. Cheers and laughter, likely from children and families, filter through the receiver. I tend to avoid the park precisely because of this. No use reminding myself of could-haves when it's already over. Mom's doing well with her career. Dad's also fine last time I visited, although neither remarried and they're both content with their lives as is. I'm probably the only one still caught up with it, hence my aversion. All in all, it's still a pleasant sight to see if you're the kind who takes joy in such sights as Professor Clark does.
Just thought I'd enjoy the nice weather before it takes a turn for the norm again. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
The guy certainly seems happy right now. In any case, I almost don't want to break the news to him. It's better to get this off quick as long as he doesn't shoot the messenger. Yeah, Ashton, we've lied enough today. No more lying. He's not the type, however. Long-held resentment can change a person. Even someone as mild-mannered as the professor.
I was hoping to talk to you about the case.
I suppose I'm just the downer today. As soon as I say the words, he pauses, and the lightness in his voice is gone in an instant. Every time we've talked about this in the past, he does that. He's probably trying to gauge the situation based on the tone of my voice. Perhaps it's a good thing I'm delivering this news through the phone. Who knows what he'll see in my face and my mannerisms. The art of keen conversation, I learned it from the man. He probably already has an idea of what this might be about from the manner of speaking alone.
You aren't in trouble, are you?
Divine trouble. For a second I hesitate, looking at the dirt beneath my shoes. But I manage, eventually, after a long, ragged draw of breath, I pick up where I've left off, though still fumbling with my words.
Well, I'm in a bit of trouble, if you can call it that.
Ashton.
He only assumes with that tone when there's a reprimand at its heels.
But I'm not in danger or anything.
You've said that same excuse a million times before, Detective Inspector. That exhausted rasp in your voice tells a different story.
It's nothing like what you're thinking. Don't worry. I was taken off the Luxborn firm case.
Not your fault! Corruption at work. Not your fault. I expect anger, frustration, maybe even disappointment. But all he gives is a small sigh of relief.
Is that so? Well, at least you aren't in danger. Liz wouldn't be too happy if she heard you right now.
Liz. Aunt Liz. She insisted I call her. His late wife. Oh no. Did Luke fucking kill this woman? A sweet-tempered woman by so many standards. They were never blessed with kids and contented herself with simply managing their bakery. But she's the closest thing I had to a mom in the few years I had known her. The professor, too. The absence of my own parents in my life, the two filled the ache that their divorce left in me.
Believe me, you'd get an earful. You don't want to show up on her doorstep looking like you haven't slept a wink either.
How many years has it been since? 9? 10? I can still remember it vividly. Two men, primly dressed, briefcases in hand, and a stern look at each of their faces. They were already frequent visitors to the bakery for a few months, something about the lot being a prime property in downtown Luxborn. I think they were hoping to settle a deal with them, but neither of the couple gave in to their demands. Why should they? That quaint little shop was a dream for them. Aunt Liz sent more money home early that night after a fruitless wait for the professor. The next morning, news of a bakery razed to the ground had spread across the whole city. One casualty. A few weeks later, the property was sold to Wright Enterprise. A fucking hotel now stands in its place. Of course, an investigation was launched after the incident. The name Luke Wright was briefly at the center of it, but with the lack of any evidence, the case ultimately went cold. The professor hides it well, however. I can tell that he hates that man to this day. He might even blame Luke Wright for every tragedy that happens in this city. He has never blamed me, though, when I'm equally responsible. I knew something's off the moment those men stepped inside the shop. I could have saved her that night. I could have prevented anything from happening to her, called for help, or whatever. I didn't. So it continues to eat at me until today. The guilt. The Luxburn firm case would have been our chance at reopening that old case if we could prove Luke right of his crimes. Instead, we're back to square one. Yet all he is for me are words of comfort, to think that he can still be this concerned about me after my carelessness, after I've broken another promise a second time. People never cease to amaze me.
You might think that you have failed as an officer. Or maybe you think that you have failed me. And you know more than anyone. I would love to see that man taken down. If anyone deserves to be tried in high court, it's him. But I'm glad nothing's happened to you while you were working on this. That's what's most important. I'd hate to get news like that again.
Suddenly, he stops. I imagine a thoughtful look flashing in his eyes as he thumbs the wedding band on his ring finger before he continues. Another habit. Professor Clark is just a man who has been through some shit, but still has it all together and is a good person. He's a good, upstanding person in a game full of very flawed people trying their best. He has never removed it since that day. He has never once thought to remarry, even when he managed to continue with his life and return to some semblance of normalcy. It's his way of honoring her, I suppose, when he couldn't bring justice to the man responsible for his loss. Some people are just hard to forget.
It's not like another death. Yours or even his will bring back my wife.
Silence falls between us afterwards. I don't know what to say after that, really. Should I apologize? Show some sympathy? Going into this, I should have thought of something other than just breaking the news to him. As it is, it seems the only thing we can do is feel sorry for each other's misfortunes.
I apologize, too, for putting you up to this.
In another occasion, under different circumstances, I might have accepted that, but...
You didn't have to, but you've already done more than any officer who has investigated this. So don't worry about this, old man.
Well, I'm gonna worry! You're a nice person, and we need to, bring justice to your wife's murder. We gotta put Luke behind bars, or get him killed by the ghost, whichever is easier, depending on how this game works out. But we're gonna do something.
I know your department's people all have their hands full recently, too. What with the upsetting news we've been getting as of late? Deaths almost every day. I'm not entirely sure if that has anything to do with the other. It seems too big even for someone like him. But if this is that man's doing...
Professor, please.
Maybe if things around me hadn't started going beyond my control, the letter, the mansion, the supposed curse behind those, I'd still be quick to blame it all on the bastard too. But as much as I want to keep holding him responsible for it, add another to his list of sins, it might not be the case. Agreeing will only cut a deeper wound on the professor. I don't want to keep him clinging to this resentment for much longer. He has already gone through so many years of it. This kind of anger, it's the sort that blinds people. Despite his reassurances, the bitterness still seeps into every syllable he utters. It's one thing for me to act like this. It's painful to watch someone I've considered a second father go down this path.
Please don't apologize. It's really all right. I can try to get it back on Monday when I meet with the chief. No promises, but if not, I'll make sure to keep an ear out for any news. Chief said he's passing it on to a senior officer. I should be able to catch a few tidbits every once in a while. But I swear I won't just give up on this. I'll do everything in my power to get Aunt Liz's case reopened for you.
Promises, again, a bad habit at this point. I wish I could do more for him. All this time, I've prided myself over being the one to always know. Because suddenly, aside from the riot and the murders plaguing the city, I have ghosts and curses to worry about. Things that are completely out of my depth. Professor Clark's right in some way. Things would be much easier if we just blamed Luke Wright for all of this. Well then, let's do it! Let's blame him for everything. Fuck Luke Wright. There, I said it. At least finding evidence would be a breeze, and I'd be all too happy to put him in a place he belongs. Although, if he was in any way also complicit in what's happening, legalities may have my hands tied. But maybe that's my fault. I might have missed the ticket to closing this case once and for all last night, if only I had done a better job during the party. Oh, Luigi's gonna show up? Cool, he's always been my favorite. We do need Luigi. I've been thinking about calling the Ghostbusters, but really we should call Luigi. Okay, guys, we need a vacuum cleaner and someone to start playing the Super Mario theme off their phone. That'll get Luigi to show up. We gotta summon Luigi, and then he'll fight the ghost. But then the commotion. There was Hannah Wright and Rebecca distracting me from my purpose too. I'd include that gate crasher as well, even if it's only for a moment. So many things had gone wrong last night that...
This isn't a prank! I saw something! See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys. It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Last night at the party.
But it's real! What do you think I saw? It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
That woman.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her.
Shit. Yeah, Ashton, there's a fucking ghost! Have you just now figured it out? If that's what Isabella had been warning us about, then it was the same thing Rebecca talked about last night. Or what Zach told me about a few days prior. How many of these instances have I dismissed since reading the letter? How many have I ignored and passed off as some effect of faintage or lack of sleep? Even last night, a hallucinogen lacing the food is the first thing I considered purely because that's what my training dictates. It's a mindset I've grown used to. It's the setting the gears in my head automatically take in a situation like that. Of course I'm not discounting all of that yet, but until I have enough information, but something to form a conclusion from. Proof in whatever form it may come. But thinking straight is impossible when all of a sudden all your beliefs are being upturned in the most violent way possible at that. Jesus, I need a sounding board. I need to talk to someone and Zach's the best person for that.
I have to go, Professor.
Oh, no problem. But what are you...
I don't have time to stop and listen to what the professor has to say as I cut the call short. In the same second, Isabella emerges from her apartment, fully dressed and ready for the day. As usual, she greets me with a smile, but it falls flat just once she catches a glimpse of my face. Shame. It would have been the first comforting thing I see today. It annoys me that I'm partially responsible for the worried one replacing it. But I must look close at to a picture of someone choking or dying because there's nothing but concern in the words she speaks.
Ash, are you... Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, no, I don't, okay? But we should hurry. Come on, don't forget to lock your door.
Seriously, you look like you're about to fall over. Are you alright? Because if you're planning to faint right here, I won't be able to carry you.
Yes, don't mind me. I just remembered some stuff from last night.
Talk to her about the ghost! She's the one that told you about it in the first place!
I need to talk to Z-Man about this. Mind if we drop by his place first?
Shouldn't we call him? To let him know? It's still pretty early, though we'd probably arrive there around noon. Also, what do you mean about this? Is Zach...
He was also there when I opened the letter, right? He read it too. I'm sure he's fine, but it wouldn't hurt to check on him. To make sure. See if he'll say the same things you told me yesterday.
If he's also been seeing things, if it's also the same woman I saw last night.
I'm not saying there's really a curse yet, but we have to look at this from every possible angle. And don't worry, he won't mind. He's probably just watching TV right now. Let's go.
Okay, but speak up if you're not feeling well. You really look like you're choking on something. You didn't have to do this for me in the first place.
You know it's not as simple as that.
We head down to the car in record time, with not a single second wasted to hit the road and drive to Zach's place. If any of us, other than Isabella, who knows anything about what's going on, who can help sort this muddled mess my mind is, it's gotta be him. He listened to her. Well, it looks like Ashton has finally gotten with the program and is ready to admit the ghost is real, and is finally going to start communicating with his friends about it, which is good. We're gonna, I'll be playing more of this game tomorrow, but for now, the show's over.